All right, Friday edition of PFT Live. We are pulling the train into the station until July 28th. That's when we're back. By the way, I'll be doing PFT PM almost every weekday between now and then, so hashtag no days off. But before we sign off, they tell me it's a surprise, and I learned just before we came back that Michael Holley is in on it.
See, Mike,
I give the floor to you.
Mike, you had a problem last week. You said it was hard for me to lie to you about my jacket. I told you a lie, and I struggled. And I didn't lie. It was a lie of omission, sure. I didn't tell you that I knew about the surprise. The surprise is, well, we kept talking about a book review for Father of Mine, and we finally have a book review.
Oh, wow.
Of your excellent work. Check it out.
Oh, wow.
And now we present Authors on Authors with Professor Michael Holley. Today, Professor Holley reviews Father of Mine, a novel by Michael Florio.
Oh, hi. Good morning. I'm an author, Michael Holley, and I got a review. This is how I flow in the morning. I got a book review about another author and another Michael Florio. He's got a book. It's called Father of Mine. And I've read it, and I want to share some excerpts with you. It's the kind of book with language that tends to ruffle my ascot. This is from page 153 from our character, J.J. Jenkins. We talked about him last week. Paul came out from the back carrying a case of Stroh's beer. I assumed it was from the truck we stole. I usually hate to drink the profits, he called out to the room, but tonight I'll make an exception. He dropped the box on top of the bar. The bottles clanged against each other. He opened the lid and started tossing beers around. One guy had a bottle that went his way, but it hit the ground. It busted all over the floor. He's smart, he's quick, and he's coordinated, Paul yelled when I caught my beer. She'd been mingling a little bit. I hadn't noticed that she was back in my vicinity. We were standing near the pinball machine. She'd been playing the first time I saw her there. I don't know about that, I said. All I know is when something's coming from my face, I need to keep it from hitting me. Not all things that come at your face are bad, she said. Ooh.
Thank you for watching Authors on Authors with Professor Michael Holley, the show that asks the question, why is this man drinking so much at this time of the day?
That is well done. I need to know what AI program was used for the graphics. That is something. Is this up? Are we here?
That's incredible.
That was wild. Who made the graphics? Do we know? Wow.
EJ is all over it.
That was
Mike,
well done.
Mike, we recorded it after you left last week.
That's good.
I switched out of the Adidas and into my robe with my morning drinks. So, but I'll tell you this. In all seriousness, your book is outstanding. It really is. And I told you this. There are a couple of things that surprised me in the book. One, it's the narrative structure is fantastic. And I don't know. I don't want to give away any spoilers because I really want people to read the book. Am I the only one who had to, when I finished the book, I said, "Hey, what happened? What happened to the dad?" I had to go back, and you gave us the answer early in the book. I'm like, "Oh, that's the man. That happened to him. Oh, that's his story." It was really clever. So I was surprised by the narrative structure. It was awesome. I was surprised that you were able to so accurately capture the psyche of a female character. You really got into that one. I said, "Oh, wow, Mike's leaning into this. This is great." And I like the details. I'm so annoyed when I watch something that is out of period. It's supposed to be in a certain period, but there's a detail that's off. I'm like, they didn't wear suits like that in that year, or that show, that's 2 years too late. You had details to the point where I went back and I checked to make sure it was accurate. one of your characters said, hey, the Steelers won by 12 yesterday. Sure enough, I go back to 1973. No, Steelers lost by 12. I go back to 1973, and I see Cincinnati 19, Pittsburgh 7 from October of 1973. So you had all the stuff that I was looking for, dialogue, the pace, really well done. I'm not just saying that. I enjoyed it.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate that you read it. I appreciate you enjoyed it. I appreciate the kind words. And it really isn't nowadays that hard to get your details right because you can find all of that stuff. You can find, like, I made my calendar of when the book unfolds, and it's basically a 6-week period in 1973. It's not a long period of time. It's like early September until late October. That's it. But you can go back and you can find, like, every Sunday, who played, when they played, what the score was, what the weather was. It's amazing how much is out there if you just, if you know how to find it. And it's not that hard to find. It's not like it's some treasure hunt. So I appreciate that. But yes, tried to be true to the details. And a lot of the stuff I just remembered. It's easy. When you grew up in that era, you know what songs were popular. There was, I think at one point, and I think this made it into the final version, JJ's watching TV and there's an episode of the Brady Bunch on, and it was the actual episode that was on that night. So, and it's not that hard to find, but you just got to track it down. Well,
there's one criticism I do have of the book, and it's kind of made me question my life's choices. Like being from Ohio, I didn't know that being from Ohio was so dangerous. So usually being sent to Ohio,
you just don't want to get sent to Ohio.
Being sent to Ohio, that's a bad thing. Yeah. You have to read the book. That's a pretty terrible thing when they say, hey, we're going to.
You don't want to go to Ohio. No, you don't want to go to Ohio. If you go to Ohio, there's a chance you may never come back. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.